Hi, I'm David, and I'm back with Magic ManaStrike. It's my third day playing with the Koth Planewalker, so let's see if I can upgrade any of my cards in the red deck yet. Looks like I can. I received some Shivan Dragon cards from my teammates. So with the Shivan Dragon at level 3, let's play some games. I'm starting at 2018 stars, and hopefully moving up at least to the next reward tier today. But, of course, that all depends on the matches and how well I play. So, lessons learned from the previous 2 days are that Koth is more of an AoE, slow build-up type Planeswalker rather than purely aggressive like Chandra. So with the Shivan Dragon a little bit stronger, hopefully that makes an impact, but we do not, let's wave back, make the first move here. He does with the terrain elemental, and that's going to be AoE damage to ground units, so I'm responding with 2 air-based units that the terrain elemental can't attack. I expect he'll be playing another card soon, so I'm not going to play the Goblin Artillery like I normally would. He plays Doomblade. Alright, well Doomblade was very bad. It hit the Shivan Dragon but didn't even remotely kill it. So I am going to play aggressively in the bottom row. He responds in the top row. I'm not playing Koth yet. I thought about it. The Spinning Demon there I will take out with the Swashbuckler. Piercing Arrow should do some pretty good work against it. In general, you want to line up the Swashbuckler's Piercing Arrow with multiple units, but I wasn't ready to use a Planeswalker right there. You can use the Beetles against his Planeswalker. Since I'm really not being pressured by my opponent to use my Koth Planeswalkers, I'm saving them until I can just throw them down on the board repeatedly. Okay, since I've done more damage to the bottom tower, I'm going to start a bottom lane push with the Shivan Dragon in the back row as soon as I get up to 10 mana. Not back row, back of the bottom lane. I will be playing a Koth pretty much as soon as is reasonable. Okay, now it'll give me time to build up to 10 mana and place some units deep into his territory. Let's play a Hellrider, hopefully far enough to jump. Doesn't seem to matter. Place a Goblin Artillery to attack the tower from afar. I'll use Koth's ability right now. I shouldn't have done that. I don't have to. Koth is dead, so I'm going to immediately put him in the top row with the dragon and the AoE unit. Let's also add the Phoenix. Use his ability because he's being attacked right now, so increases damage output to the tower while also keeping him alive longer. And play Koth again immediately because I have so many left. The dragon I'm playing defensively here, so I'm not going to play the artillery, but I will play my AoE unit. And Phoenix defensively on the bottom row. Beetles defensively on the bottom row. Swashbuckler because of the flying, I assume it's a vampire, and I didn't have any other units that could attack flyers, so Fire Shrine Keeper in the top row just to distract his units for the next second until the game is over. And we win. Okay, so the win gets me enough for my first booster of the day. Not any cards in my deck, so I don't have to check if anything can be upgraded. If you saw the message on the top and you are a free-to-play player like I am, make sure to go into your Magic Pass and collect all the sparks that you earn as you earn them. I only got to 9 out of 10, so at the end of this game I should be able to complete that daily quest of summon common cards. So my opponent is Sorin. He's white and black. I almost did Catapult and Hellrider, but that's the wrong choice because you try to start out responsively. Hence, I waited to see which lane he was committing to and played the dragon. He chose the top lane. It's a little unfortunate that that unit gets to do so much damage to my tower. He played only a single unit in the top lane. If he starts committing more to the top lane, I would probably play my aggressive units. Okay, like right there. So hopefully he has so overcommitted to the top lane right now that he can't respond to what's going on below. He does get a response. I'll play Koth. Defensively, use his ability right now to keep him alive as long as possible. He has a pretty strong push in the top lane. I need to stop worrying about my attack and play another Koth. Okay, hopefully the beetles can take out the blinding mage, but I think they'll attack the flying units first. Okay. Ooh, he distracted the Phoenix with that Geralf's Messenger. But I bet that the Swashbuckler will take out Blinding Mage. Nope, he was distracted as well. So this guy is using his other units very well. But the AoE unit, once he takes damage, he puts out some in response. That should kill the Blinding Mage. But it's not. I'm a little surprised at how poorly my units handled that top push. Of course, it's not just my units. It was my choice to commit attacks to the bottom lane. So I'm saving. I don't want to play the beetles. Okay, play the AoE unit. Koth, because we're in ManaStrike, so I now have a backup Koth if this one fails. I use his ability to try to tank the damage and hopefully crowd control what's happening right now. Alright, I have to play my final Koth. Okay, here it is. Oh, sweet, he let me play Hellrider right in front of the tower by using Corn Tangler on my Koth. Use Koth's ability because he's almost dead, and put a Swashbuckler and a Goblin Artillery in the top row. Also a Phoenix, but I'm saving my AoE unit, the Fire Shrine Keeper, for his eventual counter push. Because what I cannot do right now is lose the bottom tower. I think it was the Geralf's Messenger, which is the one that dies and stays on the board until it resurrects. That one is really hard to eliminate without taking any damage to the tower. So I did complete the Summon Common Cards daily quest, so I'll come in here. Both of them were Summon Common Cards, so you click Complete. And then make sure to receive the rewards that you just got. I don't play the Devil, I don't play the Vent Sentinel, so nothing to check for upgrades right now. So we just start our next match. So you could see in that game that the entire outcome was determined by my overcommitment in the first, 30-45 seconds of the game. Which is why I need to really pay more attention on being more responsive instead of proactive. Save those aggressive pushes for when I have an advantage after stopping his push. The only exception in my mind is the Goblin Artillery, because by placing it up there after he spent 7 on the Shivan Dragon, he has to respond. I think those are the Hadron Scouts, which just cost 1, so he does have a mana advantage there. The dragon is AoE, so I don't want to play my beetles against it, so I play the Swashbuckler, but that Rowan is a really good hero power because when he attacks something, he freezes it. Yeah, so Koth did next to nothing because he got frozen, so he couldn't attack. And actually, he has a Goblin Artillery on the top row, and that's a Swashbuckler, so he's running a very, very similar deck list to mine. Looks like he has Shock in his deck. Or maybe that's a blue spell that stuns me. The Swashbuckler placement there was pretty bad because his arrows aren't hitting the Planeswalker as well as the other units. Wow, so this is what I try to do, is place my Goblin Artilleries when my opponent would have trouble dealing with it, and I am truly having trouble dealing with his Goblin Artilleries this game. Oh, he has saved an Ethersquall Ancient this entire game to play right now. That's pretty respectable. I mean, he's been playing with 3 cards this whole time. So I need to commit to both lanes right now. Since he has both of my Sub-Guardians, if I don't win both of his, it's just game over. It's probably game over anyway. I mean, I have next to no chance of taking this right now, but I don't give up. So I got one. I'm not really close to the other, though. Still 1,600 damage away. So that will Planeswalker, when he freezes as he attacks, makes it really hard with any kind of unit, whether it's an AoE unit or a single target unit, or even a bunch of small units, to stop the Planeswalker. With a bunch of small units, his attack will simply kill the first one, and then he'll move on to attack the second. Clockwork Beetle is what I'm thinking of. He can just kill 1, 2, 3 of the Clockwork Beetles. But if you send in some kind of single target, like the Swashbuckler, he'll just freeze the Swashbuckler, so then the Swashbuckler won't do any damage, and then Will's still alive. So, have to figure out how to handle Will in the future. Where's that going? Up top? So Dragon in response is key there. Oh, he went right for the main Guardian. Wow, that was a surprise. So he might be some kind of green deck that specifically tries to go straight for the Guardian. He's not really doing anything right now, so that Terrain Elemental, I'll play some air units. The Giant Spider killed the air units, so that was not actually a good response. I will do Phoenix to try to kill Nissa, and the AoE unit to try to kill the Spider, and his Terrain Elemental. Okay, I don't need to go on the attack again. I did a push in the beginning when I felt that he wasn't playing very much or very quickly, but I don't need to right now. I should save my mana and make sure to not take much more damage. He's still not playing very much very quickly, so I'm thinking that maybe he is saving for some kind of push. I'll send in a Hell Rider, should take out this no problem. I don't think there's any unit that can actually stop the Hell Rider in its tracks. So we don't want to play an air unit against the Giant Spider. So one interesting thing about the Giant Spider is that it will ranged attack air units, but melee attack ground units. So if I can send in a ranged ground unit, it will attack the Spider before the Spider can attack it, which is what the Swashbuckler was doing for me. put another swashbuckler down to contest his units, but this is looking more and more like a bot. I don't want to put down the dragon for the spider. The beetles for the spider aren't great either, but I didn't have my swashbuckler in the rotation right then. I haven't even been pressured enough to play my planeswalkers. I'm like 90% sure this is just a bot. Looks like I'll get a second spark here, which is nice, but clearly not necessary. I'm winning this game every time. Regardless of whether that was a bot or a real player, I don't understand how they are up at 2,000 trophies with that kind of gameplay. But, I mean, I'll take free wins when I can get them. Vent Sentinel and Daybreak Ranger and Star of Extinction, but no cards that I'm playing right now. Okay, I'm going to make sure to grab both of these daily quest completions. So, quest completions get you sparks, in this case, 6 sparks. My current daily quests will give me either 5 or 6 sparks. But every single Guardian you destroy is also worth a spark. And right now, there is a note that we're in a double spark event. So for killing 2 sub-Guardians in that game, I earned 4 sparks. And sparks are how you advance through this whole track, which tops out at 500. And every 10 you receive rewards. So let's make sure I receive the rewards, Comet Storm, and some gold. So though that rewards track and the daily boosters are how a free-to-play player can keep up with the other players in the game. You need to make sure that you are getting all of your daily rewards, completing your daily quests, getting your 5 daily boosters, if you want to stay competitive as a free-to-play player. So this opponent was Vraska, black-green. I'm ready to play the dragon as soon as he shows me what he wants to do. Top row. Okay. Is that a Grave Titan? I think it is, because he chose to deal damage to his main Guardian. I wouldn't have thought of that myself, but that is probably the right strategy, because the main Titan, or the main Guardian, is the building that I'm least likely to hit. So he also Circle of Pains. I'll Koth now while he doesn't have a Circle of Pain. Use Koth's ability because I'm using Koth as a defensive unit, trying to take damage away from my tower. In the same regard, I will put down the Fire Shrine Keeper AoE unit. So just like Koth transforms when he reaches the enemy side into Hardened Rock Koth, the Daybreak Ranger transforms into a werewolf, which has better stats. But the werewolf will attack units, whereas Hardened Rock Koth only attacks towers. So, as I was talking, I took a lot of damage to my bottom tower, but he also has a lot of damage on the bottom tower because he didn't respond to the Goblin Artillery. He responds to it this time with a Terrain Elemental and a Vraska, so we're going to try to keep the Vraska in the other territory. I've lined up my Swashbuckler to hit both the Terrain Elemental and the Vraska. Let's play a Hellrider in such a place that he'll jump, which he did. So the jump deals AoE damage and stuns. So the Daybreak Ranger that he placed was, unfortunately for him, stunned almost immediately after it was placed. So I'm going to play Koth. I really don't want that werewolf to reach my tower, because right now I only have the one tower. So I'll start attacking the top tower with the I forget what they're called, but I'm sorry, I'm too focused on defense right now. The Goblin Artillery is now launching its bombs at the top tower. I'm not going to put more mana into that top tower push right now. Well, okay, I am. Second Goblin Artillery. What I was worried about was my bottom tower, but since he has Circle of Pain, and I saw my bottom tower being damaged very heavily, I figured I would eventually lose the bottom tower. So I did commit the Hell Rider and a second Goblin Artillery to the attack on the top tower, so that I wouldn't have to worry right now about this push. But time went out before I lost my bottom tower, but if you look at the push that was happening in the top lane, it would have been strong enough probably to take the tower had it not already been successfully defeated. Okay, a win with the sparks and stuff gets me the booster. I should have completed at least one of my daily quests. Summon rare card. And eventually you do run out of daily quests. I am pretty sure some of these are yesterday's daily quests. So as far as I know, you get 1 day's rollover of both your 5 booster packs and your daily quests. I think that the previous game was a good example of using Koth for defense, because I didn't really use him to go attack towers. I would place him down so that enemy units would attack him instead of the tower, and then use his ability to reduce the damage he was taking so that he survived longer. And then either the Shivan Dragon or the Ashcloud Phoenix or the Keeper of the Fire Shrine, they would then be placed after Koth was placed, so while Koth was being attacked, and then they would attack the units and not be attacked in response. Therefore, his units would die, my Koth might or might not die, but then I would have units at full health ready to address the next units that he placed or ready to march on the Sub-Guardian. Okay, we're playing a Sorin, black and white. It's really nice to have the Shivan Dragon in the opening dock, because I know it's the first card that I want to play. And then I wait for him to show me which lane he's going to advance in. Okay, so that's the Grave Titan again. I'll place the Buccaneer such that hopefully his arrows will go through multiple people. Make sure to use Koth's ability, but wow, those guys really damaged Koth almost before I could use Koth's ability even. So the Swashbuckler is doing real work here. Some of his arrows would hit the Grave Titan, the Planeswalker, and the Haunted Guardian. So that's exactly the kind of value you need from Swashbuckler, and it's why he's a skill tested card. You see right here, he's hitting the Haunted Guardian and the tower. That's not my skill or anything, that's just where he happened to walk. But when you place the Swashbuckler, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So Koth and Koth's ability as soon as possible this time. When you place the Swashbuckler, you pick the best location, the best angle for his arrows, and the skill difference there is what determines winning a push, and multiple push wins turn into game wins. Okay, I'm saving my mana. The dragon should defeat the tower, and it did nearly completely. Phoenix, because the Haunted Guardian can't do air attacks, but I don't have a Swashbuckler lined up. So this is harder to respond to than before. Each of the times he's been sending in Grave Titan, Planeswalker, Haunted Guardian, I've had a Swashbuckler, but that time I didn't, and I was still able to respond because I knew to put down Koth and immediately use his Planeswalker ability to keep him alive. So now I have a Swashbuckler, once again, Koth Planeswalker ability, so that he doesn't die too quickly to the Grave Titan, and you can see that even Sorin is attacking my Koth, and just next to no damage to my upper tower there. Alright. No, so I thought about investing in the push, but I'm not going to, in case he had some kind of response. I did not want to spend all my mana putting units down on my side of the board and hoping they got to his tower in time. I wanted to save that mana for defensive plays, and if you saw at the very end of the match, I did place a Fire Shrine Keeper right in front of my tower, just in case of any shenanigans. Last game, we saw that there was an Ethersquall Ancient saved until the very end that I hadn't seen all game, so if there was some kind of surprise in this game, I wanted to be prepared for that. Something else that I could personally work on, since each deck runs one Planeswalker and 7 other cards, I could keep track of each individual card that I've seen and determine if there is a surprise waiting for me or not. Ethersquall Ancient right away. I don't have the dragon in my initial docket, so I have to play the Phoenix instead. It's really hard to see what's happening right now, but from what I understand, I played Koth and the Fire Shrine Keeper, but he played a Ninja of the Deep Hours, which, if you remember from my Dovin deck, has stealth. So you can't attack him directly, but since Koth and the Fire Shrine Keeper and even the Shivan Dragon are AoE units, they were attacking the other enemies around there and happened to also damage the Ninja of the Deep Hours so that he didn't end up doing any damage to my tower. So Ninja is a very difficult card to defeat directly because you can't target it, but when there are other units around, you definitely should put your AoE units on the Ninja so that the Ninja dies. Alright, so he has Tezzeret at my bottom tower, but he has an Ethersquall Ancient at my top tower, and I'm going to be able to defeat both without too much damage to my tower. I mean, the Ethersquall Ancient has so much HP, it is getting in damage, but if Tezzeret had been up there, Tezzeret would have attacked my other units while they attacked the Ethersquall Ancient, and then my units would have died, and Tezzeret would not have been damaged, then Tezzeret would attack the tower, and I would have been in a much worse situation. So that's why I suggest that you don't split up your units in general. Right now, I did send in some aggressive units on the bottom lane to take out his tower because I saw nothing much going on. Okay. I need to be using my plane. There's 45 seconds left, and I still have 3 Planeswalker copies. Granted, 2 of them are from the 2 Sub-Guardians that I've taken, but as soon as Koth dies, next Koth is coming out. So Koth out. Okay, that turns out to be a mistake, but because I thought that there was going to be more damage in the bottom lane, and it turns out that he switched his strategy at the top lane. But look at that. My top tower isn't even dead, even though his whole strategy was apparently, and maybe not on purpose, maybe it's just what he ended up with, but it was to put units in the top lane while I was defending the bottom lane. But again, that splitting up of resources is not generally a strong play, and clearly in that game didn't even earn him 1 Sub-Guardian. Okay, and then this here is my bonus 6th pack for having the Magic Pass. And let's just check this happens to be my season best. Remember, we started at 2018, now we're at 2084. So that'll be it. I'm done for the night. I hope you enjoyed it. I am having fun enough with Koth now. Initial impressions weren't great, but for now he is pretty skill testing, especially with some of the red cards that are skill differentials. So stay tuned for part 4, probably dropping in a couple days. Please consider subscribing as well. Thanks for watching.